All right, this is the second video for lesson 10. This video will explain the problems that you will need to do on page 47. This first problem I have made on my own. It is very similar to one of the problems that you have to do on page 47. So let's get started. This says Larry laid different color tiles on a bathroom floor. 8 orange tiles measured 5.5 times 4 inches. 7 yellow tiles measured 10 inches by 9 1/4 inches. What is the area of the tiled floor in square inches? All right, after I read this problem, I want to think about some things I already know. So I know that he has 8 orange tiles, and each of those 8 tiles is 5.5 by 4 inches. I also know that he has yellow tiles. He has 7 of them. And each of those tiles measures 10 inches by 9 1/4 inches. They are asking me what is the area in square inches. So just to check, they give this to me in inches. They're asking to answer in square inches. So I don't need to change my units or anything like that. Okay, so let's first start with these orange tiles. He has 8 of them. All of those tiles have these dimensions, 5.5 inches by 4 inches. So I can assume that's the length times the height, and to find the area of those orange tiles, I can multiply those two together. So I'm gonna write orange tiles, or I'll just write orange. And to find the area of each of those, I'm going to go ahead and multiply 5.5. I'm leaving out my units for right now. 5.5 times 4. So if you remember a couple of units back when we were multiplying a whole number by a mixed number, you can change this first mixed number into an improper fraction. So 5 1/2 would become 11 halves. And then we can multiply it by 4. Remember, this 4 has an imaginary 1 under it. So essentially what I'm doing here is 11 times 4, which is 44, over 2 times my imaginary 1 is 2. So I'm left with 44 over 2, which means 44 divided by 2. And I get 22 inches squared. Now, I have found the area of just 1 orange tile, but I have 8 orange tiles. So I need to multiply this area times 8 because there are 8 orange tiles. This is just 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and multiply 22 inches squared times 8. Pause this video and solve that on your own off to the side. You should have gotten 176 inches squared. So 176 inches squared is the total area of the orange tiles. So I'm gonna write area of orange tiles. Okay, but I'm not done. I also have yellow tiles. So the process is the exact same. I just have some different dimensions. So for the yellow tiles, I have 10.5 inches by 9 1/4 inches. I want you to go ahead and solve the total area of yellow on your own now. So I would like you to please pause this video. All right, if you paused the video, which you should have, welcome back. So to find this, we would have multiplied 10 times 9 1/4. You would have had to change 9 1/4 to a improper fraction, which would have given you 37/4. When you multiplied those together, you would have gotten 370 over 4. When you divided that, you should have gotten 92.5 inches squared. that is the area of one tile. We have 7 yellow tiles, so you'd multiply 92.5 times the number of tiles, which is 7, and you should have gotten 647.5, ignore that, inches squared. Okay, so that is the area of the yellow tiles. All right, I found the area of the yellow tiles. I found the area of the orange tiles. Now, what do I need to do to find the total area of those tiles? Well, I need to add them together. So I am going to add 647.5. You could write it as 0.2 if you want as well. I'm sorry, 0.5, not 0.2. Plus 176. I want you to do that off to the side and pause this video. All right, you should have gotten 823.5 inches squared. You could have also written it as 823.5 inches squared. So this problem is reviewing things we have already done. You have already been taught how to multiply a whole number and a mixed number. You know how to add whole numbers and mixed numbers. So none of this math is new. It's just understanding what the problem is asking us is the part that might be new for us. So if you were to answer this in a complete sentence, what is the area of the tiled floor in square inches? The area of the tiled floor is 823.5 inches squared.